What is up guys, Kane here, and in this video we're going to talk a little about my free-to-play account as it is already day 3 on this account. So as it is day 3, I am currently ranked 20 on this server, and most if not all people around me in the top 30 are all at least some level of how can I say spenders, because some of them are kind of hiding their VIPs, like this whole guy, but he has a Phoenix. As you can see, Phoenixes are in all of these players, let's say, formations. And as I'm VIP 0, I don't yet have it, and my power is still on a decent level, all because I have focused upgrading my army in the best units that I currently have. Now there is no particular synergies with these units or stuff like that. It's just basically the strongest units that I was able to get and use at the current moment without any awakenings or any of the sort. And I only have one SSR, and it is Shard Trainer. I don't think that this SSR is very good late game. At least not many people talked about him in being pretty useful in regards to like the meta, where a lot of other uh how can I say DPSs or damage dealers or whatever, they are a lot safer and a lot more explosive than, let's say, the Shard Trainer. However, most other DPS, they are very bad at the early game, and they more or less do almost nothing in the early game. However, Shark Trainer proves to be quite overpowered in the early game in terms of like clearing the story stages, in terms of like clearing events in the case of like Dwarven Treasury. From a lot of people and a lot of strong people, I am rank 3 in clearing the Dwarven Treasury. This guy has Xeron. He doesn't have Devil, unfortunately, but he has a Red Dragon, which is pretty friggin' overpowered. I think the people around me, they don't have Devil, but it really depends. So pretty much that's what to focus on the early game. Now, whenever you unlock the artifacts, personally, I do think investing about five, maybe a little bit more, 1,000 diamonds into artifacts is required. The reason for that is that these artifacts provide a lot of stats and a lot of base stats for most units to use, and those units can start surviving stuff like the basic events, start passing those basic events, start providing you with more stuff, and you would be able to participate in PvP and, events and all that kind of stuff. I've done this before on my other account, and I'm pretty much doing it the same here. I mean, sure, we have to save diamonds for like the URs and the SSRs and all that kind of stuff. However, in the early game, you do require artifacts to raise your base stats to be of any use in this game. So if you're gonna skip these artifacts, it's not going to bode well for you, and you're not going to even like rank the highest in here to get a free tea with proper stuff or even the rewards as shown here. And getting these will also prove to be, how can I say, a pretty decent upgrade for your roster, pretty decent upgrade if you're using a free T, because a free T will be instantly 3-star. And the formation I will be going to in towards like using it, I will be aiming to go Rashka with a free T, Demon, Pit Fiend, and I think one more. Now, the reason for going something like that is because the Inferno synergy is kind of overpowered even in the later stages in the game, as like shown in my one of my last videos when I have played. Like Pit Fiend is an insane healer, and even more insane once she gets her awakening. At the same time, like Demon has become a decent tank again, but some updates probably pushed him back, but that just means that the demon Pit Fiend, and so on are pretty much going to be pretty overpowered early game, at least in my own perspective. So if I would go for this Inferno synergy, and I already know more or less what I am going straight towards, as well as Rashka being able to make the Ifriti a bit stronger, the only thing I need is a couple of buffers and I think one or two more DPS, and I think for the current moment, the shot trainer will be able to be decent for like until level 60, maybe 70 or whatever. And eventually I will just swap him out for something else. Because this guy, he's pretty decent now, but I don't really see him of too much value very soon. Now, as a free to play, you don't have a lot of choices for heroes, unfortunately, and the Rashka formation is not going to be my main formation. As the units that I will be raising for Rashka, they're all free and you can buy their shards or get their shards from dungeons. And as you know, you don't have a lot of creativity with your formations as free to play. And the Inferno synergy and stuff like that you can just get from barracks. I mean, the shards you can get from underground, you can get from guild and whatever. So it's not going to be that hard to raise the Inferno synergy. But the thing is, it's not going to last very long, at least for me, because I think the second formation that I will be doing will be Draken and Judicator, along with a couple more units that I will mention in the future, probably when I will be very close into getting them. However, this will not be my final formation. As I remember, quite a few people, even as free to play, they started using Draken and they started copying the clones of specific URs or units, and they started to perform insanely well. So this kind of thing can more or less be interpreted in a few other formations, I think, or at least I will try to interpret that in a few other formations and see how well it will go. However, this isn't my end goal formation, as I want to make something of my own to be able to be the high VIPs. Now, whether or not I will succeed in that, it's questionable, and I do not want to disclose the hero or the units used in the final formation as well, because whenever I was like making videos of Xeron and Devil, you guys know pretty well that most of those units, they have received nerfs for whatever reason, and I don't really, know why. And probably a few new players are going to watch this video and be like, yo, what are you talking about? And when I was playing Xeron, I had a decked out big PP Devil and I was one-shotting everything. And then some skills from Xeron were not working for quite a long time. Some devil skills got deactivated, some devil's awakened skills got deactivated, some pit fiend's awakened skills were deactivated. Even the meta with the dwarf in the Xeron's formation, whenever I showcased it and people started using it and bashing variety of pay to win like faction leader formations, they disabled even a dwarf unit, and there were multiple stages like that. Like, even for example, Solmir, it says deals additional damage to enemy units equals to 30% of their max HP. Like, they didn't even fix this, how can I say, 4-star specialty, and it is literally voided as being useless on this hero, because what's written here is just false, how can I say, words, false specialty. It just does nothing but cap your damage. So honestly, I do not want to disclose my final formation because I want to achieve that goal in beating those VIP 15, so I could more or less close the series or stuff like that. However, if I manage to beat VIP 15s with like Rashka again, with like Draken or whatever, that will also be pretty good, and also a pretty good achievement. But I will not stop the series even if I manage with those two, because I want to try something else and make something of my own. So, pretty much that aside, I had a decent start. However, we have like two guilds, and eventually we will be, or rather, we have three or even four guilds at the moment. So, essentially, we will be fighting for the Dragon Utopia, and we're going to earn a lot of skill stones and not earn as much diamonds as I would love to earn. However, as PvP, as you can see, I'm rank 1 and I have bullied quite a lot of people just for the skill stones. And even if you're new in the game, unfortunately, you have to be some sort of a dick if you want to get ahead of other people, even as free to play. Now, I'm not telling you to be a dick to them in PMs or chat or whatever. I mean, this is a, how can I say, a feature in the game. If you attack other players, you get skill stones for your army. And if you upgrade their, let's say, skills as shown here, you raise their roster power as showcased here, right? And this roster power turns into the power and stats on the unit. So more or less one of the few reasons why I have managed to reach rank 22, and most, if not all of these around me are all VIPs. So more or less you have to know these few little things to start giving you small edges above other players who still don't yet know. So I could be a little bit higher power right now, but I still need to find my strength to start passing all of these trainings to get a couple more stars on the Wolf Rider, on the Pegasus, and whatever, and a little bit more diamonds. So whenever I find the strength, I'll probably raise this by another 1 or 2,000, and perhaps even add the Pegasus into my formation instead of something like a orc, or instead of something like a harpy or whatever, or even a monk. It really depends, but at the moment, in the very near future, I'm aiming for Rashka, then for Draken, and probably mix these two formations for Clash of Gods and all that kind of stuff. However, I'm not entirely sure again how it will pan out, because most likely I'm not going to go for Devil this time. Who knows? Probably I will be getting Venom Spawn though. So pretty much that's it for this video. These were my thoughts, again, my opinions, all that kind of stuff, some tips. Hopefully, this will be helpful to some new players. Thanks for watching, guys, and stay safe out there.